So in this session, I'm going to walk you through some very, very basic keyword search, not because I believe that your website should dominate Google from day one or that you should invest in SEO. That's entirely up to you. However, SEO is a long-term play, not short-term. But once you have a website, you actually just want to make the most out of it. Every time you build an asset, whether that's a lead magnet, a website, a program, a newsletter on LinkedIn, doesn't matter. You want to try and squeeze as much juice out of it as possible, especially in the early days because you have limited resources. So speaking of limited resources, the first thing I did was get a keyword search on Fiverr, around about $40, $50 just to get the initial keywords. And then I've gone a step further and I've looked at the ones that have quite high search volume. And also you're looking for low keyword difficulty. If it's very high, you're just kind of wasting your time. Initially, you will struggle to get any kind of traction on Google, but this is, as I said, important for your foundational blocks of the website to include some of those words. So I've put in yellow a couple of key phrases which resonate with the audience that we're looking for. And then I've just plugged them into keywordtool.io. You can play around with this and have a sort of couple of different ones that do this. I'm looking for the startups in these tools because the existing ones, Mars, SEMrush, they're often $200, $300, $400 a month. They're really for specialist agencies, not for a startup, unless you are 100% reliant on keywords for that. But if you're going to do paid ads, that's a different scenario. But for now, we're just going to look at just some basic keywords. So what I've noticed is that this says offshoring versus outsourcing. So I had insourcing. So that is a word that people aren't going to be searching. So I will change that to offshoring. Let's try another one. Well, why hire a virtual assistant? So I'll plug that into here. I'm looking at Australia only, but obviously you can change the location. I'm also looking at YouTube just to see if there's some different sort of variations, because if you're picking a particular platform, you might want to look on there as your key starting point. So what have I got here? What does a virtual dot assistant do? 260. Trend is 0, but hire a virtual assistant Philippines and hiring, which are almost the same, it's kind of semantics. So it's pretty much the same key phrase. That's at 90 and going up. So you can see a bit of a trend. Let's just try one more from here. Okay. Let's try and pick something that is in the yellow zone. Let's try and see what comes up here. Okay, search that one. Okay, average trend 70, which I think tied up to the other one. Trend's going down. Not really anything worth considering. So that's definitely not something that you would optimize too much. Let's try and find one other phrase. Okay, let's try benefits of a virtual assistant. Okay, interesting enough, the trend is going down. Jobs, uninteresting. How to become virtual assistant, not really of interest. And then the rest is really quite small in the fact that there's nothing above 30 and no real trend. So again, that would be one that I wouldn't put on the core pages of the website at the start. But you can get obviously quite granular with this. When I first started my business, SEO was a huge thing. And if you got in nice and early, you could dominate that, which I did. So these days, far more competitive landscape. But this is just a way to start to figure out what are the key phrases that are going to be on your core pages of the website. How difficult are they to rank for? What are you up against? I mean, that's supposedly $10 a click. Some of them are even much higher than that. And so you want to get a benchmark of the first couple of things that you think that you can find a little bit of a long tail keyword, or something that over time in the next 6 to 12 months, as you build out your new startup, you can then start to focus on a couple of those core keywords, and it'll just help you on top of every other marketing thing that you do. So I hope you found this little insight into keywords for a startup useful. Thanks.